Well, I can't imagine this will be. This is a 1989 motorcycle. This is 2023, so that's 23, 33, 34 years old. No wonder if anybody has cleaned the brake dust out of here. It's the 61,000 miles that this bike has been ridden. Probably, I don't know. No way to know. Previous owner was not a mechanic, so everything was done either by the dealer for most of his life and toward the end of his ownership by an independent mechanic. And I can't see a dealer ever doing this. And it would be a very unusual independent mechanic that would ever go to this level of detail when they were servicing the brakes on a customer's bike. That's the kind of shit that only an owner will do. Can't afford to pay anybody $100 an hour to do this. That'll work. And, third world doesn't have this kind of motorcycle, and cleanliness is not a real big issue in those shops from what I can see on the internet. There's always an exception to the rule. First world, second world, or third world, this is a kind of a work that a conscientious owner will do. And or collector, same deal. But shop can't afford to do it. Unless they've got young apprentices working with them. When I was a kid, wanting to work on the family 36 horsepower Volkswagen, I'm talking 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. really didn't know anything. You know, and I try to work on the Volkswagen and fuck it up and take it down to the local German mechanics who are certainly were in World War II on the wrong side. You know, I think the thing probably had a leaking oil cooler, so there was oil all over the front of the engine, and I took it in there to have them work on it, and they said, in Germany, if you brought them a thing that was filthy like that, they wouldn't work on it. They wouldn't work on it. Or they'd charge you to clean it first. And the guy was actually kind of angry. I learned that there's a very good reason for that. You don't want to be opening up an engine to work on it and get a bunch of dirt in it. And you don't want to get yourself all filthy working on it either. What's the point? I'm going to take these over and hose them off. So now you've got something you can work with without getting filthy. I'm sure where I'm going to put these now. So anyway, it works a couple of ways. You know, if you're going to take your motorcycle to a repair mechanic to work on it, if you take the thing to him clean, you're going to have more respect for the thing and treat it better. Some of the people who work on machines, I wouldn't pay them to slaughter a hog because they've got no respect for anything. You see a guy on the internet telling you if you want to bleed your brakes to put a pair of vice grips on your rubber brake hoses instead of you know, working the little valve down on the brake caliper to bleed them. That's a guy that wouldn't belong to, not smart enough to work in a slaughterhouse. So there's all kinds in the world, and there's all different approaches, but I think if you want somebody to have respect for your machine and do good work on it, You bring it to them clean if you can, or offer to pay them to clean it before they work on it. You know. I'm amazed. I saw this video when these people are going to do an overhaul on the Itchy Boots motor, and the whole thing is completely filthy from road dirt, as is to be expected. But they removed the thing from the motorcycle frame. It's completely filthy, and then they decided to start to clean it, but they already opened parts of it up and it was still dirty. And I go, what the fuck are they thinking? You know, do some preliminary cleaning on the thing so that your tools aren't getting all dirty, so your hands aren't getting all dirty, so you're not getting all dirty. What's the point in working on dirty crap if you don't have to? You can do the fancy cleaning after you get it out, but for crying out loud. This motorcycle here got thoroughly clean before I started doing anything on it. And I mean, I've got all the tubes off and the carburetors apart, and you know, oil change and water pump hoses and, you know, all kinds of stuff, but none of it got done dirty. Now, sure, you're just going to spend some time doing it, but I don't know. You got any self-respecting, you got any brains, you don't do major surgery on something before you get the worst of the dirt and grease off it. The thing, if you keep your engine clean, if you develop an oil leak or a fluid leak or something else, you can spot it. It doesn't take very long to spot it. But if the whole thing is covered with grease and oil to begin with, how are you going to figure out where it's coming from? So, some people like to wait until a small problem becomes a big problem, and some of us would rather deal with little problems so we don't have big problems, which are expensive and take time, and all the rest of that. Another thing is, do you want to do this at home, or do you want to do it on the side of the road or in a motel room somewhere? Motorcycle like this does not lend itself to getting repaired on the side of the road or in a motel room. Big dog and pony show just to get the covers off it. Not a practical thing if you're going to spend a lot of time in Gitchigumi. So, there we go. Well, that's good. Now, if I will flush and replace the brake fluid in the front brake, tomorrow I can put my front fender and brake fairings back on, and now keep the engine and the radiator and stuff clean. When I took this apart, I didn't realize it was going to be a year before I put it back together, or I guess I would have covered it and kept it cleaner. But, Well, even though they call this a tank cover, or I call it a tank cover, it really covers the air box. This motorcycle has two big constant velocity carburetors and a big air box where the gas tank is on most motorcycles, or where it used to be in most motorcycles. And this covers it all up. Again, something I hazard to guess hasn't been cleaned on the inside in about 100 years. My back is giving out here. Now, does it matter if the underside of your cosmetic airbox cover is clean enough to eat off or not? Hell no. But, you know, nice to do it once every 30 years, whether it needs it or not. One of the reasons of getting these so clean is that some of them have little cracks in them, so they're going to need to be glued. And if you want to glue anything, you've got to have a extremely clean and dry surface to do it. And so this is step one, get it clean so we can inspect it, so we can repair it. If you sense a theme developing here, yeah, it's the same old deal, whether it's a body panel, you know, or your engine, or a wheel you're going to put a tire on. Clean it, inspect it, and repair it. If you want to try to skip steps, you get to do it over. I had a flat tire in Mexico once, and I took the thing in right around closing time of this tire store. I guess it was Ensenada. I was headed south. It was the beginning of a Baja trip. And this guy has got about 5 or 6 guys around, and he's holding court, right? And they're all drinking beer, and he's being the big shot. And so I bring in this tire, a wheel and tire, and I had run over nails, I guess. Somebody left a bunch of nails in this parking place, and I'd run over them. So he continues drinking beer and holding court and changing my tire all at the same time, you know, and he does it in about, I guess he pulls out a nail, vulcanizes a patch inside and puts it together in about 3 or 5 minutes. And I'm watching a guy do it. And he doesn't check inside the wheel for other nails. And he wants me to take it out the door. And I said, well, you didn't check for any other nails. Let's dunk it in the tank and see if it leaks. And there's about 3 or 4 other leaks in there because it's got all these nails in it. So in front of all these guys that he's showing off for, he has to take it apart and do it over right. Now, does that mean that when I take this thing out for a shakedown cruise and make a video that it might not break down and I might not have a great amount of egg on my face? No, it doesn't mean that. Having clean panels doesn't mean your motorcycle ain't going to break down. It just means we tried. So, anybody can miss something at any time, no matter how good you are, how long you've done anything. Things can get by you. And, but you can still tell the difference between the guys who don't know any better and the guys who are having bad luck. At least I think sometimes you can. But it's like people who drive and they get in a wreck. And they say they had an accident. Now, did you have an accident, or were you incompetent or negligent, not paying attention, incompetent, didn't know what to do, negligent, didn't do what you should have done, you know. An accident is a deer that you can't see that jumps out in front of you and no human being could possibly stop and goes through your windshield. That's an accident. Deer you can see 100 feet up the road and you don't slow down and then you hit it. That's not an accident. That's just plain stupid. So, that's the way it is. you, if I fuck up, I'm just going to blame it on being old. So if I break down with this thing out in the middle of the desert, guys can say, well, there's an old man on an old motorcycle, what do you expect? And they'd be right. I'm poor, it's the only thing I can afford. My own damn fault for selling my K75. I put all the work and time like this into making it good, and then I stupidly sold it because I wasn't using it enough. It was going to take me about 2 or 3 months to figure I'd missed it and I'd done something really stupid. I can't find another one. When I do find it, I don't have sense enough to buy it, so. I bought this because I've always been curious about them, and when there's a good motorcycle that people won't buy because it looks funny, then you know I'm the one who'll buy it. If I sell this, I might well buy a F650 CS, this Scarver, one of the funniest looking motorcycles ever made, but it's a good one. And the good news is, if they're funny looking and people don't want to buy them, then they're cheap. The Scarver, an F650 CS, about half of the price of an F650 GS, you know, for less than 2 inches more suspension travel, and everything else just about the same, except the riding position is more upright on the GS. I can't quite see it, you know. $2,400 for a good CS, and $3,700, you know, $2,500 more for a GS, which ain't that great a dirt bike. It's a good dual sport. You won't break it, but I don't know. I'm not a dirt rider, but the hotshot dirt riders say it's you know, it's okay. It's so-so, but you know, it's a dual sport, and it's, you know, like all dual sports, it's a compromise. But you could put dirt tires on a Scarver, and unless you're going to be riding on some serious technical stuff, the Scarver can do it. is it worth money to pay a premium for the style? I don't. You know, guys that start talking about motorcycles on the internet and they start talking about style on it, you know, turn that douchebag off right away, because who cares? Got nothing to do with it. I just care about how it works. But, you know, what the hell? Question is, can it get you there and home again? And how much do you suffer while you're doing it? Your body suffer, you're suffering at the bank. You know, you're worried every minute the thing's going to break down. Oh, you might get some dirt on it. Oh, you can't get any dirt on my new GS. Eh? Shit, bite me. Okay, just about done here. Well, I called these wind scoops, but they're really not. They're exhausts that let the hot air from the radiator flow out. They point that way, not forward, but that way. Now remember, kids, if you're going to wash and dry your parts of your vintage motorcycle, be sure to buy a special purpose-built, very expensive stand to dry and drain your parts on. And don't do what I'm doing, and that's take an old Briggs & Stratton high weed mower and throw a tarp over it, lay the stuff on top. No, you have to have something special, and it probably should say BMW on it, you know. And if you believe that, I got a bridge I want to sell you. Well, let's see. I guess we'll clean the last of these things here. I think I need a 3-axis titanium adjustable mount to hold these while I scrub them and dry them. I wonder where I can get that. Well, the color of that bucket ought to tell you what we just accomplished. Well, end of the day, table, brushes in the bucket, and bags are clean. The parts are clean and drying over there and over there. And not a bad day's work.